All right. So once again, yesterday we got to go take a look at the 8.2 PowerPoint. And like I've discussed before, right? Everything's going to be identical except for how you calculate your cost of goods sold, right? We're going to be applying the last in first out method, which is every batch that we purchase, we're going to consider which one came first and which one came last. And in this case, whatever came last, you're going to sell and calculate first. So in this case, let's go ahead and dive right into our 8.2 exercise. So once again, number 1 says that your inventory method is Perpetual and Lifo. Okay, so question, so on May 5th, okay, we purchased 1,000 toys at $3 on an account. And the freight cost is going to be $100. So going to my first inventory table here, I'm going to go ahead and indicate the date, 5/5. We're skipping over the first column because we didn't deal with the sale yet. We dealt with the purchases. So first, we're going to go right into the middle section. We purchased 1,000 units at $3 with a freight of $100. Okay, so let me go ahead and format this real quick. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So, what is my total purchase price?
3,000.
Right, we take our quantity of 1,000, we multiply it by the $3, 3,000. To get our total cost,
3,100.
3,100, right? 3,000 plus 100. Okay. And then lastly, how do I determine my cost per item?
3,100 divided by 1,000.
Good.
So
Good.
$3.10.
$3.10. So right away, now that I completed my section 2, I can move on to section 3, which is entering it into my inventory on hand. So right away over here, I should have 3,000 items at, 1,000 items at $3.10, and it's going to cost me $3,100. So once again, this formula is going to be consisting of your quantity times your cost, right? Because every time we change our quantity, right, it's going to multiply by the cost per item to give us our total cost. So that's definitely something that we want to keep in mind. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this formula all the way down by using the fill handle. Okay, so now that I have my first batch, what color should I make this?
Yellow.
Yellow. All right, there's my first batch, yellow. Okay, everyone good so far?
Yes.
All right, so then what happened on May 7th?
You sold
550
units.
Okay. So we sold 550 units. Okay. So once again, it is now May 7th. We sold 550 units. All right. So at what price or at what cost am I going to be calculating this?
From your first batch.
We only have one batch.
Right.
So for 310?
Yes.
Okay. So once again, I'm going to highlight this so I know that this is from my yellow batch. Oops, wrong one. Hit the wrong one. This one, okay? So because I'm not taking all of it, I'm only taking some of it, I need to calculate what this is. Now, I'm going to go ahead and be consistent, so I'm going to practice doing the equal round formula, right?
Yes.
Just so that I stay consistent. So I'm going to multiply my 350, right? I'm going to times it by my 310 and comma 2. So then how much is my cost of goods sold?
$17.05.
1705. Ooh, let me format this real quick. So it's in terms of dollars. Right? So now that I have this section here, right, and I know I only have one section, in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and just display that I am going to be subtracting this out, all right? So here I should be subtracting out my 5550, or if you'd like, you could keep it as a positive number. Just make sure that you know that when you do your calculations that you are essentially going to be subtracting it. But in this case, I want to make sure that you guys understand that we are not adding, we are subtracting this number out. So that's why I have that negative. So in this case, if I started with 1,000 and I got rid of the 550, how much should I have remaining?
450.
450. All right. So if I started with 3,100 and I sold 1,705, how much should I have left?
1395.
1395, all right? And okay, the best way that we could double check our work is now that we completed the middle section, we can now go ahead and place it into our inventory on hand. We no longer have 1,000 anymore. We have 450. And by placing my calculation in here, it should automatically calculate 450 times the 310 to give me a total of 1395. Okay, so this is, again, it's a good way to double check your work. But once again, the next time we come visit this exact problem, I'm not going to have this section at all. I'm going to eliminate it directly from my inventory on hand. Okay. But for now, I just want to make sure that you guys know where these numbers are coming from. Okay. So there I am. I sold 550 on May 7th, and I updated my inventory, so now it's reflecting that I have 450. Okay. Everyone go with me so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So then, what has happened on May 10?
You bought 850 units at 325 each with a freight of 75.
Okay, so 850, 325, 75 on May 10. May 10, 850, 325, 75. All right. All right, so what is my total purchase price going to be?
2762.50.
So I take my 850, I multiply it by my 325 to get the 2762.50, right? I'm going to take that number, add my freight to get me a total cost of
2837.50.
2837.50. And then now I need to solve for my cost per item. So I'm going to take that number and divide it by my 850 to get what?
3.33824.
Okay. So here we have a nasty number, right? We have a number that isn't evenly distributed. So with that, that means we got to apply for our equal round formula. So now that we complete our middle section, let's transfer it into our inventory on hand. So in this case, I have 850 units costing me the 3.33, okay, which should calculate to 2837.50. Okay. And this one, what color do I want to make this batch?
Gray.
Gray? Okay. Let's see, is this dark enough? Oh, that's too dark. Let's do this one. Okay, so it's at the second one, third one, second one. Okay. There you go, gray. All right? So now if we had a running balance, we should have a total of 1,300 right now. All right, so then what has happened on May 12th?
We sold 360.
We sold 360. So let's find my table. May 12th, and we sold 360. Now, let's take a look at our batches. We're doing Lifo. So which one are we going to be taking out from?
Last one.
The gray batch, right? So in this case, what's my cost per item for the gray batch?
3.33824.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to also color this gray so we know that this is coming directly out from my gray batch. All right? And what's my cost of goods sold going to be? I do.
76.
Okay, so here I am, equal round, multiply those two numbers together, comma 2, and you got 1201.67?
Yes.
Perfect, okay. So here it is, and what I'm going to do right now is, because it's directly correlated right onto my last previous batch, I could go ahead and I know for a fact that it's coming right out of my previous batch right there, right? My 850, which is already there. So I could go ahead and say that I sold 360. That cost me a total of the 1201.76. And now I'm going to go ahead and calculate my new total in my gray batch. So what is 850 plus 360? I'm sorry, minus 360. 490. All right. And then last but not least, if I started out with 2837.50 minus my 1201.76, how much should I have remaining?
1635.74.
1635.74. So once again, now that I completed my calculations in the middle, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to take away from the gray batch. So I started out with 850, now I have 490 left, right? And boom, it automatically calculated for me, and I should have 1635.74. Okay? So, we're doing good so far. Okay? So then, let's go ahead and see what has happened next. So, we are now on the 15th of May.
I think that May you sold 600 units at $10 each.
So we sold another 600 units. Okay, so let's take a look at our batches. Do we have enough for each one?
We'll be tapping into both batches.
We'll be tapping into both batches. So for this sense, or for this case, excuse me, it's May 15. Okay, which batch are we going to be taking out from first?
Last.
The last one, which is the gray batch of 490. Now, how much do I need to sell from my yellow batch?
110.
110. Right? So, once again, when we're journalizing, you need to journalize it as a total amount. So, in this case, I'm adding my numbers up together so then I can guarantee. Because a lot of times, a lot of people would miscalculate, right? They might say, instead of 110, they might say 90. You need to sell 90 more units. But this guarantees that making sure that I'm taking my proper 940 out, and I'm taking the exact amount to reach a total of 600. Okay? So therefore, this is also going to be a formula. So once again, I'm going to highlight these colors so you know where they are coming from. So this one's from my gray batch, and this one is going to be coming out from my yellow batch. Okay? So let's go ahead and get started. So if I'm going to sell out my whole entire 940, right? How much is it going to cost me?
$16.35.74.
Yes, right? We know that for a fact if we just, we're taking out the whole thing. Okay, so we know, I'll just calculate it anyway, just so we're consistent. All right, 1635.74. So right away, I'm going to go ahead and cancel this out or subtract it out. Okay, and let's go ahead and do our calculation here. If I started with 490 and I subtracted 490, what should I get?
0.
0. Good. Same thing here, right? We're canceling out the whole thing, so it should be equal to 0. All right. Now that we've completed our middle section, let's go ahead and get rid of that entire gray batch. We're going to make this 0. Okay. Now, that means the next time we make another purchases of inventory, it's going to be considered our third batch, okay? Because we did have a second batch. It's the gray batch. However, with the rules of LIFO, we still have to assume that whatever came in last, they're going to be the first ones to go. So your yellow batch may be the end of your inventory, okay? Maybe the third batch might be part of your ending inventory as well. We don't know yet, okay? So here, I got rid of my gray batch. So let's go ahead and calculate my yellow batch. How much is it going to cost me per item for each yellow batch I sell?
$3.10.
$3.10. So once again,
Total of $3.41.
yes. So here I can drag my formula down here. It's going to give me the same answer. Oh, but it changed my color into gray. So there you go. 341 even. Is that what you said, Alan?
Yes.
Okay.
Should give you a total of $19.76.74.
Okay, so it's up to you what you want to do here. You could just subtract it out, or let me see. Let me just grab the information from above. So here, we started with 450 minus my 110. Okay, and we should have 340. Okay. Same thing here. We're going to locate my 450 at a total of $13.95. And we sold, what is that? $341. So we should have a grand total of $10.54. Is that what you said, Alan?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's $3.40 at 1,054.
Perfect. Okay, so there we are. This is my yellow batch. I only have one batch left, so, let's go ahead and subtract out this 341. So in this case, I no longer have 450 items. I have 340. So with my calculations, it should produce me 1054 even. Okay, is everyone good with me so far?
Yes.
All right. So then let's see what has happened next. Okay. On May 20th, what happened?
You bought 300 items at $3.50 each with a freight of 20.
So 300, 350, and 20. So it is, no, we got to skip all the way down here. It is now May 20th. We purchased 300 items at $3.50 with a freight of $20. Okay, so what is my total purchase price?
$10.50.
Right, so we take 300 times the 350 to get 1050.
Add
Right.
freight, get $10.70 for your total cost.
Okay.
Then you take your total cost and divide it by your quantity, and you should get 3.56667.
Okay, so this one I'm going to expand so you can make sure that you understand that this is not an evenly distributed number. So once again, now that I completed my middle section, I'm going to now add this into my inventory on hand. So I have a new additional 300, okay, at the 3.566667, all right? My formula already automatically calculated, so what color should I choose now?
Definitely a blue.
Okay, all right,
That's
blue.
good.
Let's do blue. Okay, blue. All right, perfect. So now, in total, how many batches do we have?
2.
We have 2. Technically, we have 3. But in this case, we sold one of our entire batches. So we now have only 2 left to choose from. Okay. All right. So let's go see what happened next. Now, we are on May 22nd. Okay. How many items did we sell?
450.
We sold 450. Okay, so again, it is now May 22nd, and we sold a total of 450 items. Let's go ahead and take a look at our batches. If we're using Lifo, which batch are we taking out from first?
Last
Last. And how many does the last one have?
300.
Only 300. That means we got to take an additional
150.
150 from the yellow batch. So here, I have 300 from the blue batch. Okay, 450 minus 300 should give you 150, right? We're going to add these two numbers together to ensure that we're selling a total of 450 items, right? And we're going to add those costs as well, okay? If we know for a fact that this is going to be from the blue, okay, and we're going to get rid of the entire batch. So therefore, do we really need to calculate this?
No.
No, because we already know if we're going to get rid of the whole entire thing, it's going to cost me $10.70. But that's okay. Once again, I'm just going to do the calculations so you guys know what is here, right? Equal round 300 times this, right? Comma 2 to get to 1070. All right? Once again, we can subtract that out, right? Because the last thing that we added in here was my 300. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So then that should also, because we're getting rid of it anyway, it should equal out to 0. So we can go ahead and go into our inventory on hand and just get rid of the whole entire thing, right? Now, my blue batch is 0. I made the purchase of it and I got rid of the entire thing already. So now I'm only left with my yellow, okay? How much is it going to cost me per item for my yellow batch?
310.
And yeah, it's going to cost me $3.10. Okay. So once again, hold on. 310. I'm self-referencing. Okay. So again, equal round. My 150 times my 310, comma 2 to get me 465. Okay. And that's coming directly out from my yellow batch. So in this case, I'm going to pull my information from above, right? I should have a remainder of 340 minus out an additional 150. So what is my ending balance in my yellow?
190.
I should have 190 items left in my yellow batch. Okay. Same thing here. We're going to go ahead and locate my total of the 1054, right? That's what I started out with. And if I sold an additional 465, how much should be my remaining?
589.
589. So now that we have this, let's go right above here and let's edit this information. I no longer have 340 anymore. I have 190 left. And boom, it should give me that I should have a total of 589. Okay. So, boom. All right, that's just making sure that when I'm doing my calculations, that it's calculating it correctly, and this is what I should have at the end of the day. Okay? So, good. Is everyone good with me so far? Okay. Okay, so where are we now? So now we are on the 25th of May. What happened here?
You bought 650 units at 375 each with a freight of $50.
Okay, so 650, 375, and 50. 650. All right. So here we are. It is now May 25th. We purchased 650 at 375 with the freight of 50. Okay. So with that being said, what is going to be my total purchase price?
$2437.50.
We're going to take 650 times the 375, 2437.50. Okay. We're going to add our 50 to get our total cost of
$2487.50.
$2487.50. All right. Last but not least, we're going to take my $24,787.50 and divide it by my 650 to get me a cost per unit of
3.82692.
Okay, so let's expand that out so you guys know.
Ugly
All right.
number.
Yes, ugly, ugly numbers. So, once again, we're going to add in our new batch of inventory. So we purchase additional 650 items. Okay. And it's going to cost me the 38269. Okay. And once again, it's going to give me a grand total of the 2487.50. So now that we finally have our fourth batch, what color should we make this one?
I don't use colors.
That's okay. Anybody who wants to green?
We get it. We get it. You don't use colors.
So green?
Yes.
Green.
I was just wanting someone to answer.
Green.
You'll answer even if you don't have it on your chart.
Okay. Green. Okay. So 650 is going, the batch of 650 is green now. Okay. Everyone good so far?
Yes.
All right, let's see what the last or second to last scenario is. So what happened on the 27th of May?
So 740 at 1025.
Good. Okay. So we sold another additional 740 units. So let me just make sure I write this information down. It is now May 27th. We sold 750. Okay. Let's take a look at our batches now. We only have 2 batches. So what's going to happen here?
The green's all gone.
Green is going to be all gone. I think, hold on. I don't think it's 750. I think it's 740.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay. Okay, my bad. 740. Too many numbers. I can't memorize them all. All right, so 740, okay? We're going to take away our entire green badge and we're going to dip a little bit into our yellow badge. So, with that being said, how much do we have in our green batch? I think we have 650 and we want to get to 740. So how much
90.
from the yellow am I selling?
90.
90. Oh, sorry. I think, Felipe, I think you answered. I just didn't
Oh
listen.
no, we're all the same. As long as we're on the same page.
Okay, okay. I think I heard you, but I didn't hear you. Let's just put it that way. All right, so
Sometimes it's hard to keep notes and try to talk. I'm like, yeah, you know.
Okay. So once again, we recognize that we're going to get rid of our green badge and we're going to also get rid of our yellow badge. So with that being said, green badge, how much does it cost per item to sell each of the green badge?
3.82692.
Right? And we know that we're going to get rid of the whole thing. So it should equal out to whatever we had here. So it should equal to 2487.50. Once again, we know that we're going to get rid of the whole thing. So if we are getting rid of the whole thing, it should be equal to 0. You don't actually need to put this in here if you already know for a fact you're getting rid of the whole thing. You can just directly go straight into the inventory worksheet and just zero it out. But in this case, when I post the answers, I want to make sure that you guys know that we are zeroing it out right now. So there we are. It's 0. So let's go up to inventory worksheet or inventory on hand and 0 that green batch out. Okay. And then last but not least, we have left is our yellow batch. How much does it cost per item to sell for the yellow batch? $3.10. So, once again, how much is my total cost of goods sold?
279. 279.
279. There you go. Perfect.
There you go.
279. Excellent. Okay. All right. So, just for safety measures or whatever calculation measures, I'm going to pull my information from above because I know I should have 190 left at 589, right? That's what I began with. And I'm going to subtract out 90. So if I started with 190, and I subtracted 90, how much should I have left?
Balance of 100 at $3.10 total cost.
Okay, $3.10 total. Let's see. Perfect. At the end of May, how many items should you have left? 100. And that's exactly what we got. So now that we calculated this, let's dive right up to our inventory on hand and guarantee that we have 100 left at $3.10, giving us a grand total of $3.10. So, this one a much more easier to follow now? And as we progress, we're going to start eliminating using the colors and just doing it black and white. All right? All right, everyone good with this one so far?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Nicole, Melinda, you guys okay?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I was answering. I thought my mic was on.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you pulled an Alan.
Oh, okay. All right. So, once again, we have 100 left at $3.10 each. So, let's go ahead and see what the question number 2 says. So, we're going to continue from the information from above, and it's going to be your inventory method is still Perpetual and it's still Lifo. Okay? We're given that on May 31st. that you should have 100 units on hand as your beginning balance. So with that piece of information, in my new inventory worksheet, I'm going to carry that information over, right? I'm going to make the date here that I should have a beginning balance, right? On May 31st. And that beginning balance is going to be my 100 at $3.10 to give me 310. So once again, for this right here, I just typed it in just because I already know what it is. And I know that it's an even number. So in this case, it doesn't really matter if I typed it in or not. But if it is going to be one of those ugly numbers, I would strongly recommend you to cell reference everything, okay? Always cell reference if you have a really ugly number, okay? So there we are. 100, we're starting with 100, and it is 310, costing me 310. So because we associated this batch with yellow, I'm going to continue and carry over the color of the yellow batch here. Okay. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the scenarios. So what happened on June 5th?
You sold 800 units, or you bought 800 units at $4 each with a freight of 100.
Okay. 800, $4, 100. Okay. So go into my new inventory worksheet because, I mean, you could technically continue off of this one. You just have to just extend your stuff a little more. But usually rule of thumb is when you actually are reaching the end of the given period, you definitely want to start all over and make sure that you indicate that you have a beginning balance. So just to keep our, worksheets not being super, super extensive, you want to make sure that you try to break it up so that you're able, instead of having cluttering your workspace, you can, refrain from that. So 6/5, okay, we purchased 800 units. That's $4 each with a freight of 100. So let me format this real quick. Okay. Boom. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. What is my total purchase price here?
3,200.
Yes. Okay, we're 800 times 4, 3,200, and then plus 100, 3,300. And what is going to be my cost per item?
$4.125.
Yes, 4 and 12.5 cents. Okay. So this one, remember, we need to be extremely cautious and careful with this one because we're dealing with half a penny. You can round your cost of goods sold, but at the same time, you can also round up your inventory on hand. So you want to be very, very careful and make sure that your calculations do pan out right, because if you round up to the nearest dollar on the cost of goods sold, you need to make sure that you don't accidentally round up your dollar in your inventory, because then you're going to be having that extra dollar appear somewhere out of thin air. Okay. So I'm sorry, not dollar, extra penny. You're going to have that loose penny somewhere. Okay. So now that I have this information, I'm going to plug it into my inventory on hand. So I have 800 at 4 and 12.5 cents. Oh, I didn't pull my formula down. Okay, so I'm going to do it now. Okay, so, all right. And let's go ahead and assign a color to this one. What color should I make this one?
Pink.
Pink. Okay, I'm going to do that same salmon color pink. Oh, wait, I missed it. Here. Is this that one good? No, let's do darker.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, the second one. All right, there you go. Pink. Right? Okay. So then what has happened on June 7th?
Sold 350 units.
We sold 350 units. Okay. So here we are. It is June 7th, and we sold 350.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's look at our batches. Which batch are we going to take out from?
Last.
The nice peachy color. So how much did it cost me per unit to sell?
4.125.
4.125. So once again, equal round. 350 times the 4 and 12 and a half cents, comma,
14.43 and 75 cents.
14.4375. And once again, I'm going to associate that we took this from the pink batch. Okay. And once again, I'm going to go ahead and subtract it out since my last batch in there that I have in my middle section is directly the peach batch that we bought. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and if I started with 800 and I sold 350, how much should I have left?
450.
You should have 450 left. Same thing here. If I started with 3,300 and I sold 14.4375, how much should I have left?
$18.56 and 25 cents.
18.5625. Good. Excellent. So now we have this information. I'm going to go ahead and update my inventory. Since I no longer have 800 items anymore, I should have 450, which does indeed calculate for me that I should have 1856.25. Okay. If you see that it's much easier to go ahead and calculate it on the right side and then bring it back to the middle portion, you can do that as well. This is just, another extra step if you'd like to do that first, right? As long as you get to the right answer, it doesn't matter how you get to the answer, as long as you get the right answer. So, yes, you can do that as well. Just a suggestion. Okay.
Well, I didn't do on this sheet, the second Lifo sheet. I didn't do any math in the middle. I wrote a couple macros and I did all my math on the ends.
Perfect. That's exactly how I do it. So that's the next time we take a look at this, and that's what we're going to do for the fictitious business. We're just going to go directly straight from the cost of goods sold and enter it directly into our inventory. But for now, just making sure that if you figure that why have to calculate this number twice when you can just calculate it here and just copy the information over. Yes, you can do that too. Okay. So everyone good with me so far?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to make sure. Good. Let's see what happened next on June 10th.
We bought 750 units at 425 each with a freight of 75.
750, 425, 75. Hold on, excuse me. Okay. Let me see. So we need to go here. It is now June 10th. We purchased 750 at 425 with a freight of 75. Okay. So what is going to be my purchase price?
3187.5. Then after freight, 3262.5, and unit cost per item is $4.35.
Okay, hold on. I did a little. Okay, so 32.62.50, and you divided it to get $4.35. So this I know for sure is an even number because if you pull forward, bunch of zeros afterwards. So this is an easy, nice number. Okay. But we're still going to go ahead and just enter it into our inventory on hand. So we have $7.50 at $4.35 to calculate our grand total of the $32.62.50. And what color should we choose? Excuse me, this time.
Anybody out there?
Green.
Lavender.
Green. I heard green first. Okay, so green. All right. There we at. Nice, pretty Easter colors. I like them. Okay. So then, what has happened next?
We sold 450 for some cash at 1050.
We sold 450 units.
Yes.
Okay, so June 12th, 450. June 12th, we sold 450. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at our batches. Which batch can we take away from? Which one are we going to go for first?
Our green badge.
Green. Okay, so we sold 450. At what cost per item?
$4.35.
$4.35. So once again, I'm going to apply my formula down here. Equal round. Oops. All right. Take my 450 times my 435, comma 2. What's my total cost of goods sold?
1957 cents.
Yes, 1957 and 50 cents. Let me format this real quick. Okay, good. 1957.50. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight this just to make sure that this came from my green badge. Okay. We can also go ahead and subtract this right out. So if I started with 750 and I subtracted 450, how much should I have remaining?
300.
300. All right. Same pairing here. If I started with 32.62.50 and I subtracted out my 1957.50, how much should I have remaining?
1305.
1305. And once again, since I've completed the middle section, I'm going to go ahead and place it here so I no longer have 750. I have only 300 left, which should in fact give me 1305. Okay. Good. All right. Everyone good with me so far?
I am.
Okay. All right. So then what has happened next? On June 15th.
Again, we sold 500 units at 1050.
All right. So we sold another 500 items. Okay. So here it is now June 15th. We sold a total of 500 units, right? So let's look at our batches. How many batches do we have?
3.
3. So where are we going to take out from first?
Green badge.
Okay, so we're going to take 300 away from our green batch. What else are we going to be taking away?
200 from our salmon.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to highlight this so you know what colors belong with what. And then this one was that peach color. Let me see if I can relocate it. I think it was this one. All right. So, once again, how much per item is my green batch?
$4.35.
$4.35. Okay, and once again, if I copy the formula down here, it should give me how much?
1305.
Another 1305, right? We know that because we've already calculated already. We're taking out the whole batch. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and, guarantee that this is zeroed out. Oops, typo. Zero. Okay. Same thing here. If we took 1305, subtract out the 1305, we should get a remaining balance of 0. So in this case, I'm going to wipe my green account out. It's gone. Nothing there left. Okay. Now, what about my pink batch? How much cost per item is my pink batch?
4.125.
I have 4.125. So once again, equal round. 200 times the 4.25 is going to give me
825.
825 even. Okay. Once again, I'm going to locate my account balance. So I should have a total of 450 left. So I believe it's this one. 450, costing me a grand total of what I began with 1856, right? And then now I'm going to go ahead and subtract it out. So 450 subtract out my 200 should give me
250.
250. And then the cost of that 200 was 825.
Should give you a total of 1,031.25.
1031.25. Okay. And I forgot to add these numbers up, right? So the cost of goods sold for the total of the 500 items is going to give me a grand total of 2130 even. Okay. So once again, now that I've eliminated the 200 from my peach, so I should give me 250. So once again, going to my inventory on hand, I no longer have 450, I have 250 left. So that should give me a grand total of 1031.25. Yay. We matched. Okay. Everyone good with me so far?
Yep.
All right. Okay. Okay, let's see what's next. So what has happened on June 20th? Let's see if we're good on time. We should be able to finish this. Yes. What happened on June 20th?
We bought 600 units at 405 each with a freight of 20.
600, 405, 20. Okay. So I'm going to find the next empty space. So it is now June 20th. We bought 600 units at 405 with a freight of 20. Excuse me. So what is my total purchase price going to be?
2430.
So we're going to take the 600 times the 405 to get our 2430. Okay. Plus the 30. Plus 20.
2450.
2450.
And then $4.08 and 3333333333333.
Okay. So there we are. It's 8.8 with a bunch of threes afterwards. So once again, now that I have a new batch of inventory, I'm going to go ahead and place this into my inventory on hand. And what else? What color am I going to make this association with?
We gotta go blue now. There's no blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we need blue. We need a blue.
Okay, we need a blue. Okay, there we are. We got a blue.
Got
Okay.
blue.
Okay.
Sounds like a football play. Go blue.
Blue. Okay. So here we are. 600 is now going to be the blue batch. Okay. All right. So let's see what has happened next on June 22nd. We're almost done, guys. June 22nd. What happened?
We sold 250.
We sold 250. Okay. Find the next empty space. It is now June 22nd. We sold 250. All right, let's look at our batches. Which one are we going to take out from first?
The blue.
The blue batch. Okay, so boom, 250. So we're going to take this from the blue batch. So there you go. Now, how much does it cost me per unit for the blue batch?
4.083333.
Okay, so here we go. Equal round. We're going to take the 200 times the 40833, comma 2. So how much is my total cost of goods sold here?
$1,020.83 and a quarter of a penny.
So therefore, it's going to be 10.20.83 because a quarter of a penny is going to be rounded down. Okay, so here we are, right? We have the 600 right there. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract out my 250. So what should I have remaining in my blue batch?
350.
350. Okay. Same thing here. If I started out with 2450 and I subtracted out my 10.20.83, what should I have remaining?
14.29 and 17 cents.
14.29.17. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and update my blue inventory too. I no longer have 600. How many do I have left? Just calculated. 350. I have 350. Okay. Boom. Calculated it to be 14.29.17. So boom. We're doing our calculations really well. Okay. Okay. So then, what has happened next on the 25th of June?
You purchased 350 units.
Okay. At what price?
435.
435.
Sorry, 50.
50. So 350, 435, 50. Okay. All right. Look for the next blank space. It is now 625. Okay. We bought 350 at 435 with a freight of 50. So what is going to be my purchase price? So 350 times 435 gives us how much? 1522.50 plus $50 freight, giving us a total cost of
1572.50.
good. And then last but not least, 1572.50 divided by my 350 gives me a cost per item of
449.29.
perfect. Okay, so I'm just gonna extend that out. Okay. So 4.49285, so on and so forth. All right. Now that we have the last batch or our fifth batch of inventory, I'm going to go ahead and transfer the 350 in there at a total cost of the 4.49, which should give me a total cost of the 1572.50. So which color will I make this association with?
Made it the gold.
You made it gold. Okay.
It's right there on top of the brown.
Okay, on top of the brown. This brown. Okay, well, sure. It's a little rusty orange for me, but that's okay. Right? Let's go ahead. So now, how many batches of inventory do we have?
Technically 5, but only 4 with units in them.
Perfect. So good. So we can recognize that we have all these colors. So let's go ahead and look at the next scenarios. I believe there's only 2 left. Yes. So we should. Okay. So on the June 27th, how many units did we sell? Excuse me.
550.
We sold 550. And how many remaining should we have at the end of June?
500.
We should have 500 at the end of June. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So we sold 550 on June 27. So June 27, we sold 550. So let's go ahead and take a look at our batches of inventory. Okay. Which ones are we going to take out from?
The gold first.
The gold first. And then after that, we're going to take out from the blue. Okay, so if we have a total of 550, right? Gold only has 350. So that means we need to take 200 out from blue to give us a grand total of 550 units completely sold, right? So let's go ahead and take a look. So with my gold, how much per item is my gold batch?
4.49286.
Okay. And we know for a fact we're going to get rid of the whole entire thing, so you don't really need to do a calculation here, but I'll be consistent. So there you go. I'm going to multiply the 2 and round it out by 2 to get 1572.50. So once again, this is going to be my gold batch, okay? And then the next one after that, we're going to take away from our blue batch. Ooh, wrong blue. There you go, blue. Okay. So let's go ahead and subtract out, since we know for a fact we're going to get rid of the entire gold batch. So therefore, our account balance should be now 0, right? If we started out with 1572.50, we're getting rid of the whole entire thing. That means we should have 0. So from that piece of information, we can go ahead and update our inventory on hand and know that we zeroed out our entire gold batch. Okay. So now all we have left is going to be taking 200 out from our blue batch. How much cost per item for the blue batch?
$4.08. I mean 4.08333333.
Good. So once again, because I am going to calculate this, I'm going to do my equal round formula. So you take the 200, multiply by the 4.833333, comma 2. So what is my total cost of goods sold?
$18.60 and 67 cents.
$18.16.67. So once again, I'm going to carry down, let me see, we had, I believe it was this 350 here, right? Costing me, let's check, double check, is the 14.29. Yep, that's correct. So I'm going to carry that down from the 14.29.70. We sold 200 items. So how many items should be remaining in my blue batch?
150.
150. Okay. If I started with 14.29.17 and I sold 8.16.67, how much should be remaining in my blue batch? 612.50. So once again, we're going to go ahead and eliminate this. So let's go up to our blue batch. We no longer have 350, we have 150, giving us 612.50. And let's go ahead and equal up our sums here. So this is my total equal sum. Okay, I'm going to highlight all the colors here. And I got a grand total of 500 units at a grand total cost of $19.53.75. Good. Perfect. So yes, we completed our inventory worksheet. We got our ending balance to be 500 units at the end of the given period. And it's going to cost me a grand total of $19.53.75. So this is very important because when we transfer over to the next worksheet, right? Not saying that we're doing it now. You need to carry over the yellow batch, the peach batch, and the blue batch. All three of those colors. Okay? So this was pretty much a lot more easier, right? Because we understood how to do the first one. So the second one came a little more, easier, right?
Right.
Okay. So any questions in regards to dealing with LIFO?